So, good afternoon everyone. So, my name is Zabina Facundo from BTV TED 2C. So, our topic is about the selected local history. And now, I will be explaining the brief history of Eastern Samar. So, in 1967, the newly created province elected its first set of officials, and on January 2, 1968, the provincial board had its inaugural session in the Borongan, which is the capital. So the Eastern Samar was established as a separate province in 1967. And on January 2, 1968, when the first session of the provincial board was held at the Borongan Town Hall, which served as a temporary capital of the province. So next, also in Eastern Samar, specifically in Homonhon Island in Giwan, where Ferdinand Magellan landed in March 16, 1521. This marked the beginning of Spanish influence in the country after that Ferdinand referred to the island's area as Zamal, which is the Samar. So next, on September 28, 1901, Filipino rebels in the town of Balangiga attacked and almost wiped out American troops billeted in the municipal building and church convent, now known in history books as the Balangiga Massacre Day. So in the town of Balangiga, Samar, Filipino revolutionary forces launched a surprise attack against the United States troops who were stationed in the municipal building and the adjacent church convent. So many American soldiers were killed in the incident, which has labeled the event as massacre, while Filipino historians regard it as a legitimate act of resistance against foreign occupation. So, in response, the U.S. ordered a virtual campaign on the island of Samar. So their goal is to turn the area into a howling wilderness, meaning the widespread destruction and the killing guerrillas and punishing civilians. So after the United States soldiers, they took the church bells of the Balangiga as a symbols of victory. So these bells became a long-standing controversy and were eventually returned to the Philippines in 2018. So lastly, on October 17, 1944, the United States Army Rangers landed on the island of Suluan in Giwan, where they fought their first battle on Philippine territory 3 days before General Douglas MacArthur stormed the beaches of Leyte. So this operation took place 3 days before the historic Leyte landing led by General Douglas MacArthur. So the successful clearing of enemy forces on Suluan Islands helped secure the area and ensured safer conditions for the arrival of main Allied invasion forces. So the Eastern Samar became an independent province, through Republic Act number 4221, which was approved by the Philippine Congress on June 19, 1965. This law divided the province of Samar into 3 provinces, which is the Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, and the West Samar, now known as Samar. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Micaela Denise Beledoro and my topic is about the life and works of Eugenio Daza. Eugenio Daza y Salazar was a Filipino revolutionary born in Borongan, Eastern Samar on November 15, 1870. He was married to Carolina Cinco and had 7 children. The 7 children of Eugenio Daza, Salazar, and Carolina Cinco are Gabriel Daza, Carlota Daza, Cirilia Daza, Jesus Daza, Rosario Daza, Maria Daza, and Juan Daza. He also earned a degree in education in 1888 at Escuela Normal de Maestros in Manila. Eugenio Daza taught at Barongan Municipal School and established his own school under Spanish administration.
Noong 1996, revolution laban sa Espanya, sumali siya sa Revolutionary Forces sa Samar. Noong Philippine-American War, 1899, si Daza ay tinalag na commander ng Revolutionary Forces sa Eastern Samar. Siya rin ang isa sa mga pinuno ng Balangak Attack noong September 28, 1901, kung saan nanalo ang mga Pilipino laban sa American Forces. Ang laban na ito na inayos ni Daza ay tinawag na isa sa pinakamadugong kabanata sa kasaysayan ng American Army sa Pilipinas at binigyan siya ng titulo na Brain of the Balangiga Massacre. Noong 1907, nahalal siya na representative ng 3rd District ng Samar 1st Philippine Assembly. Kilala siyang Lolo Enyong at namatay noong December 1954 sa Calamba, Laguna sa edad na 84. Pinabaon siya sa kanyang bayan tulad ng kanyang hiling na ililipat ang kanyang labi sa Borongan noong Disyembre 29 na parehong taon. May bronze momentum na itinayo para sa kanya sa Borongan. That's all for my report. Thank you po.
So good day everyone. So my name is General Manit Ubiña. So today we're going to discuss about the Pulanes movement. So the Pulanes movement are those literally wearing red, also known as a Diyos, were the members of the religious revival of the Philippines, believed that developed in the Visayas prior to the Philippines revolutions. So in their peak, it numbered around 10,000 to 15,000. So, and the Pulanes practice a synchronic religious revival centered mostly in the Philippines mythology and folk Catholicism. So individual beliefs, they use anting-anting as well as the revival of the Babaylan. They use fighting techniques such as Eskrima were also utilized in the elite and ferocious combat style. They practice a form of indigenous martial art called Derobio Eskrima, and they specialize using a heavy crescent-shaped bolo and knife. In their battles, religious rituals using bottles of holy oil, prayer books such as the Bible, consecrated antings as blessing before battle. And the Americans have described Puluhanes as notorious fighters and expert to hand-to-hand combat, where cries were also common among the fighters. They have also been described as lucky in strategy due to their high casualty figures in the battles such as massacre in Dolores. They have been the subject of many laws passed during the early American colonial period and have often been accused of banditry. So that's all. Thank you.
So good day everyone, I am Ismail Slina and I will be discussing a local social political issue based on an article published on the Facebook page Eastern Samar History and Culture. So the article was written by a local historian, which is the Monsignor Lopez C. Robedillo, who is the chair of the Diocesan Commission on the Cultural Heritage of the Church in the Diocese of Borongan. So according to Monsignor Robedillo, many municipalities in Eastern Samar have been celebrating their founding anniversaries. However, not all of these celebrations are based on accurate historical dates. Some towns have the correct founding dates, while others have been celebrating on the wrong dates. So, for example, he mentioned that The dates for Giwan, Maslog, and Kinapondan are inaccurate. On the other hand, municipalities such as Oras, Salcedo, and San Julian are celebrating their anniversaries on the correct historical dates. So, the correct dates example, Monsignor Rubdilo explained that Oras officially separated from Park, now known as Dolores, on December 13, 1849. San Julian became independent from its mother town, Sulat, on August 4, 1863, while Salcedo was formally established as a municipality independent from Giwan on December 5, 1862. And wrong dates example, on the other hand, he pointed out that Maslok could not have been made into a municipality on June 19, 1965, as some believe, because the history and documents do not support that date. So this issue highlights the importance of preserving accurate historical records. Knowing the correct founding dates help communities appreciate their true heritage and avoid misinformation. So historians like Monsignor Robledillo play a vital role in guiding municipalities to honor their past correctly. So that's for my topic. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Samia Biwasan from Electrical 2C. So for today, I will continue the discussion for Miss Adzlina Ismail. So right, as we have already noted is a previous post, Horace was separated from Parik Dolores on December 13, 1849. San Julian guided is a independency from Sulat, is mother municipality on August 4, 1863. Salcedo was constituted a municipality independent from Guyon on December 5, 1862. So, thank you.